bringing stats like a kingpin. MMA knowledge needs his nephews all lean in, breaking down fights, codes that daddy supreme on. Just a tip show, he's cooking up a dream. Uncle Weezy, he the man, dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand, MMA guru, more than just a fan. Wanna know the numbers? Weezy got them cataloged, from the fighters reach down to how many times they dog. Just a tip living, breaking it down slick, hit you with the knowledge, won't miss a single trick. Uncle Weezy, he the man, dropping fight facts, got it all on hand. He the stat attack grand, MMA guru, more than just a fan. Balls deep predictions, he be making those calls, getting in the details, opponents feeling small. From jabs to takedowns, got the whole fight ID. Uncle Weezy spitting truth, no lie, keep it G. Blow the horn, blow the horn. Stat Daddy Weezy not showing no scorn. Fight Night Kingdom, he wearing the crown. Break it down for the peeps, never looking like a clown.
Oh, yes. What's going on, everybody? It is Friday. It's Friday after the weigh-ins here. It's 1:15 Central Time here in Chicago. And yeah, we had kind of interesting weigh-ins today. We had Kyle Nelson missing weight by a couple pounds. We had Dylan Budka nearly dying on the scales. That was hard to watch. He could barely stand up. So yeah, that's gonna add a couple narrative issues to these fights, and we're gambling on these fights. So I'm looking forward to breaking this down with you guys here. I got a Greasy 4-leg parlay ready to go. We're going to use the stats that are available on my Patreon. $25 a month for the probability package. Gets you access to the over-under betting models, the prop betting models, the matchup stats, the individual fighter stats, the fight write-ups, and the 4 hours of subscriber-only content that we're doing on the Patreon, the balls deep breakdowns, probability with DFS by the numbers. We're putting out a lot of content right now on the Patreon for the people who support the work. So I encourage you to come over to the Patreon and check out what's available over there. Some really phenomenal stats, some really phenomenal benchmarking, access to the last 13 years of the last 11 years since 2013, every fight in the database. So yeah, come and check it out. But we're going to put together a Greasy 4-leg parlay for this UFC Vegas 97 card. So let's just get right into it and figure out what we're going to do here. So the links to the Patreon and the Dub Club are in the description of this video, so you can go check it out over there. But let's just start by sharing the screen here with you guys. And there we go. We've got Andre Petroski versus Dylan Budka. And obviously, we're looking for a little bit of violence here, you guys. After seeing that weigh-in, I was already going to be betting. I had actually already bet the under 2.5 rounds in this fight. But if we look here at the betting model right now at this line, which was 125 on Bet Online, but even here on Bet Rivers, where we're going to have it at plus 120, 58% of fights in the middleweight division do not see the scorecards. That is the finish rate since 2013 in 3-round fights in the middleweight division. So we know that 45% is the price of the line, but 58% of fights do finish inside the distance. So that's a nice little 12.5% break that we're getting there in price. 6 of their 9 combined fights at the UFC level between Petroski and Budka have finished inside the distance. That's 66.67%. We're only paying 45% on the price of the line at plus 120. And these guys are finishing at a higher rate than the division does as a whole. So when this one is green, this one is green, and this one is green, that indicates a trifecta bet with 42% in price savings when we compare divisional benchmarks to the price of the line, when we compare them to the combined fighters' performance, and when we compare the combined fighters' performance to the divisional benchmark. So underpriced in all 3 of those metrics, but stylistically, I like it as well. Petroski's got a really slick submission game. And Dylan Budka's a wrestler, so he's going to put his head into some of those front chokes that Petroski is so skilled in finishing. Also, Petroski's a very chinny guy. He's not a durable fighter. He has to wrestle in order to be able to stay safe from getting knocked out on the feet. So I think Budka is going to have some KO equity here, and especially if he's able to stop some of the takedowns from Petroski. If he's able to do that and tire out Andre, I think we could see a late finish from either one of these guys, depending on who has the better cardio going into the fight on Saturday. But after seeing that weigh-in and then hearing that the fight was going forward, I'm looking for that fight doesn't go to decision at plus 120. We're going to have to do this one on Bet Rivers Sportsbook, because if you see here on DraftKings Sportsbook, we've got Petroski Budka. They've taken the totals off of it, so you can't even bet it. And then when you go to the fight props, they don't even offer a fight doesn't go to decision prop. So like DraftKings is not even letting you bet this line right now. So we got to go over to Bet Rivers to find this line. And we're going to go to Petroski Budka, and we're going to say to go the distance, no, at plus 120. That's going to be the first leg of our parlay. Leg number 2 is going to be the Giacalini Amorim money line at minus 310. Giacalini, I think, has a pretty big grappling advantage here in this fight. I think she's going to be the better wrestler. Both of these ladies are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu players. They both prefer to grapple more than they do to strike. And I think that it's going to be very easy for this fight to get into the grappling exchanges. And Amorim being, an American top team girl, her being a 2-time IBJJF world champion, gi, no gi. She's definitely a high level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player. And she's much younger than Vanessa. She's got a 9-inch reach advantage over Vanessa. And, the trajectory is going up. And I think she's probably the best fighter that she's faced so far. And I'm talking about Amorim being the best fighter that Demopoulos has faced at the UFC level thus far. Maybe outside of JJ Aldrich in the debut up a weight class. I think that Giacalini Amorim is the toughest test that Vanessa is going to see thus far in the UFC octagon. And we even saw Kanako Murata be able to take her down and easily hold her down for 9 minutes there. And Amorim has got just as good a control on top as Kanako does, but she's also got a much higher level submission game than Kanako does. So I think Amorim is going to cruise here. I think this is a leg that's got a very high probability of cashing. So that's going to be leg number 2, which brings us up to plus 190 for a 2-leg parlay here. Leg number 3 is going to be the Andre Lima money line at minus 167. This is going to be mostly a striking match, and Andre Lima is a very clean, very technical striker. He's low volume. He loves to counter, and he's got great low leg kicks, and he's got very sharp hands in the pocket when his opponent does crash the pocket on him. I think Felipe is going to be I think that this fight is going to look a lot like Manel Kape versus Felipe Dos Santos, where Dos Santos threw way more volume. He pressured. He was the way more active fighter, but it was the sharper striker in Manel Kape that landed the much better shots. And Andre Lima does have a high-level kickboxing background. That is how he prefers to fight. He loves to be in the center of the cage. He loves it when his opponent is engaging with him because it allows him to do what he does best, and that's just wait to counter and land precise, accurate, and powerful strikes. I think he's going to really give problems to the low legs of Felipe, and I think he's going to land some heavy shots in that pocket there and find a knockout at some point in this fight. But if he doesn't, I think he's going to win it on damage. So, yeah, leg number 3 is going to be the Andre Lima money line. That gets our parlay up to plus 365. Leg number 4, the last leg, is going to be Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week, Steve Garcia. And I'm going for the under 1.5 rounds in this fight. I believe that this one is going to take place mostly at distance striking range, and that while it's there, Garcia is going to be winging bombs with no concern for his own defense, and somebody is going to get served early. That's the way I see this one playing out. Kyle Nelson is not known for being a control grappler. This guy has a 20% takedown accuracy at the UFC level. He can't really be counted on to neutralize his opponent and not allow them to strike. It's not really what his strength is. And because Garcia doesn't really look to offensively grapple that much unless he feels very threatened in the striking, then I think that this one is going to be a striking match. And if that's what happens, then I'm looking for I'm looking for Garcia or Nelson to land a knockdown and then finish the fight. Both of these guys have got excellent finishing instincts once they have their opponent hurt, and especially Garcia, who's got, ridiculous power. The guy does have like a death touch, and I think he's going to win this fight. I love the fact that he's a southpaw. I love the fact that he's got power in his hands and in his kicks. And I love the fact that he's extremely aggressive and comfortable just winging bombs in the pocket, trusting his power, and looking for that KO. And because of that, I think that Nelson's also going to be live to land something on Steve, because Steve does not really have a lot of concern for defense. So I think somebody gets served under 1.5 rounds in this fight. It's one of my favorite parlay pieces of the week. The under 1.5 goes off at -190 here. And that brings this 4-leg parlay up to +611 on BetRivers Sportsbook. Also, I want to make a point here that if we go to DraftKings Sportsbook, they were not even allowing the under 1.5 here. Now they've got it back. It's at -166. But for some reason, they're not allowing violence bets on the Petroski Budka fight. Oh, now they are. All right, so let's see if they actually put the fight doesn't go to decision here. No, you still can't bet the fight doesn't go to decision. But if you wanted to, you could do this on DraftKings Sportsbook with the under 2.5, and you could get this parlay at +691 instead of +611. But it's just not going to allow you to get the fight doesn't go to decision. So you're going to have to hope that there's no finish in the last 2.5 minutes of the Petroski Budka fight. But this one comes out to +691 there. But on BetRivers Sportsbook, where we're actually getting the fight doesn't go, +611 is a very good look. But if you're looking for that violence bet in the Garcia fight, DraftKings would be the place to straight bet it at -167. But +611 is what we're looking for here. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. We got my guy Olajuwon Dream first in the room saying, "Oi, what is up, dude?" We got my guy Let's Roll 1313 in the room saying, "Oi, yes, let's get greasy. Looking forward to this card and stacking those winning tickets like flapjacks. How's the girlfriend doing on her recovery? Okay, let's get into this greasy 4-piece. She's doing great. The scar on the nose is still very visible, but the plastic surgeon is very happy about how it's healing. So we're going to go in a couple of months and have the procedure done that will clean up the remainder of the scarring that's left. And then she'll be hopefully as good as new after that. But appreciate the kind words there, my man. And let's get this one cashed for us. We got Dick's Insider in the room saying, "Prophet Weezy, oi, I'm ready for this UFC and NFL weekend. Let's get this party started. Let's get it going, my man." We got 4-ounce Sniper in the room saying, "Oi." We got EAZ909 in the room saying, "Dope song, appreciate you." We got Rook Johnson in the room saying, "Marat is as useful as a Jello hammer." Yeah, it's probably going to be a rough day for Brandon Marat. Couldn't find a way to get that fight into the greasy 4-legger here because, -3,000 doesn't do a whole lot for our parlays. We got Ucelis in the room saying, "Yeah, what is up, Ucelis? Good to see you hanging out in here." Saying, "Dylan Budka, the only one to miss weight." No, it was Kyle Nelson also missed weight here by about 2.5 pounds. And I think that is very interesting because we've never seen Kyle Nelson miss weight in the UFC thus far. So that could definitely be indication of some kind of an injury or something going on with him. Maybe he's been a little bit sick, something, because Kyle Nelson's always been very professional about making weight. So oftentimes you'll see somebody who never misses weight, who's been there for a long time, miss weight and then have a bad performance. And it could be a negative harbinger of his performance on tomorrow. So I'm thinking maybe Steve Garcia knockout KO 1-2 is something I might be adding to my bets this week. We got Radislav Kolev in the room saying, "Oi, and he's saying, heard Budka had bad missed weight. Yeah, he did. He looked horrible on the scale, Radislav. And he said Nelson missed as well. Yes. And we got Sultan in the room saying, oi, yo, yo. What is up, Sultan? Good to see you hanging out in here. We got Pickle Kush saying, let's get it, brother. What is up, Pickle Kush? And saying, yeah, Murat's manager must hate him, giving him the worst advice. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a rough fight to take, but I don't think the kid had much of a choice because, honestly, he took his fight against McKinney, and he got knocked out in 20 seconds, but he took that fight on fight week, so I think the UFC was like, all right, we'll give you a contract. And then now they realize, like, all right, I mean, we got to get rid of this guy. So they probably said, hey, look, you're going to fight Bulgarian, or we're just going to cut you. We'll pay you the rest of your thing. You can go somewhere else, because he's obviously not a draw, and he's obviously somebody that is a little bit expendable for the UFC. So yeah, they're going to let him go. And hopefully, we can see Bulgarian get a much better matchup in his next fight. Somebody that's, that deserves to be in the cage with him. We got Robert Saladino in the room saying, I like all of these. Let's go. I like them all too, man. I hope this one cashes. Plus 611, you guys. Let's get this one. It's been a minute since we cashed one of these. Last week we had the Robert Valentin leg missed for us. He had Loader's back. He had the body triangle in. He had him flattened out. He had the arm underneath the chin, and it looked like it was over, and he found a way to fuck that up. These European grapplers are terrible against Americans. The difference between American and Russian grappling and Brazilian grappling and the rest of the world's grappling is a big difference between it. So we just saw it on full display in that particular fight. All three other legs cashed, of course, and Valentin was this close to cashing it for us, but he pissed it away. And there goes the parlay. That's gambling. We can't blame anyone but ourselves. We're the gamblers. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Check out that Patreon if you want to get access to these betting models, to the matchup stats, to the prop betting models, the individual fighter stats that include everything that you could possibly imagine, even DraftKings, FanDuel, Prize Picks, and Underdog statistics for winning fights, losing fights per minute, per fight, everything that you could possibly need. Check out the Patreon, support the work. I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out here. Let's stack cashed tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 97. And we will see you on Sunday on DFS by the Numbers YouTube channel for Stat Diggers for UFC Noche, which is going to be headlined by Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili at the Sphere in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's going to be quite a card. It's going to be quite a spectacle. So make sure you check out that on DFS by the Numbers channel on Sunday. Thank you guys for hanging out. Good luck on all your bets. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you soon. Later.